Hi, everyone. It's Joseph Whitnick. Thanks again for watching us on iConixxx, YouTube Live, or wherever or whichever direction you choose to come in and watch us. I'm here with my all-time favoriteest hostess with the hair color mostest, Chris Sorby. And today we have someone that is ultra special to me. Talented, fabulous, smart, has assisted me in my career in so many directions that I can't even tell you in words. And we're going to learn today about who she is, what she's done. And you know what? I always say this: grab a piece of paper and a pen or your phone, because if there's anything she directs you to as far as something to watch, listen to, or read, you're going to want to write that down. So with that being said, I want to get started because there's just so much I want to hear her say. But I'm going to introduce to you my favorite, Chris Sorby, who can take it from here. Chris, nice to see you today in Oxford.
Oxford, UK. Yeah, good to see you too, Joseph. So, you know, we're so blessed and honored to have this incredible, world-renowned, award-winning hair designer in the motion picture and television industry. This is a rare interview that we've managed to get here on iConixxx. Her work was seen in Legally Blonde, Pulp Fiction, Jerry Maguire, Deadwood, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, to name but a few. Her list is way too long. We take up the entire time just with her list. But besides her incredible hairdressing talent, she's a gifted jewelry designer. Please meet the amazing Linda Arnold.
Hi, everybody. Hey.
Hi, Linda.
Hey, Linda.
So nice to be here. I love doing anything that I could help elevate the profession of hairdressing in all of its forms, because I think that's so important for people to, especially students and people coming into it, to realize what a gift they have and what an opportunity. You can go anywhere in the world with it. And, you know, there's a lot of careers that you're stuck in one place, but with hairdressing, you can go all over the world several times, as many of us have.
Too true. So what would you say, Linda, is the most important lesson that life has taught you?
The most important lesson is to be kind. Always be kind. That's the number one thing. And as far as, and that in any professional career period, I think that's important, is to be kind and try and help others first, and it all comes back to you. And I was thinking about some of the things that are so important to me about hair in general and the business of hair from the very beginning to right now is know your basics. You have to know your basics, because things that you think that might not be important, like a finger wave, a pin curl, something like that, you know, you need to know that stuff. In my career, there's techniques that I've had to pull on my own memories of, you know, things I learned in beauty school to do, like making pin curls with hairpins or toothpicks or whatever you had. And next month, there's a show that I did a little bit of work on, but on the pilot of the show, I did do most of the background, or quite a bit of it. And it's called Ratchet, and it's another Chris Murphy show. And it's all in 1947, this first one is. And, you know, you really need to learn your craft. And that's the most important thing to me.
God, I love that. Oh my God. I'm sorry if I'm not looking at you, because I'm watching my pen write vigorously on a piece of paper, because I'm going to be highlighting that and taking that back to the nest, right?
No.
I would like to jump in because I want to take you, please, all the way back to day one. Why beauty school? Who was the influence to you to go? And where was it?
Okay. When I was 5 years old, I was given a Barbie doll, and it was the first Barbie doll, you know, and it had cotton hair, and it was a blonde, and I wasn't a blonde. And so I dyed its hair with food coloring, and then cut it all off because it just had a ponytail. There was nothing to it, and that wasn't enough. So I cut it all off and cried because it wouldn't grow back. And at 10 years old, well, actually, even before that, about 8 years old, I have always wanted to color my hair. And so I bought these little Nestle's capsules with my allowance, and they were powder in little capsules, and you put them in water and rinse your hair with them. So I almost got
What?
thrown out of 5th grade because I dyed my hair black. And then another time, my parents left me alone. This was the dangerous part. And I spent my allowance buying bleach that you whip up in a mixing bowl, and it was purple. And I bleached my hair, and I was about 11 years old. And but when I was 10, I spent my allowance on the very first hairdo magazine I ever had. And Lauren Bacall was on the cover, and Leslie Blanchard's salon in New York was who was featured in the magazine. And I was in love. I loved everything that Leslie Blanchard did and represented. And I loved that he had, you know, 5-story salon in New York City, and all these actresses would come in. And I was just, you know, I was gone. That was all I wanted to do. And I never wanted to do anything but that. So other than experimenting on myself and a few neighbors and relatives and animals that I had, you know, to do anything to do something to their hair. And I just dreamed of it always.
So
That's-
where did you start? Where did you start?
Well, I
Sorry,
didn't go
Chris.
to high school the full time because when I was younger, you could do your last year or two of high school at a trade school. So
Oh,
I did
okay.
that. So I dropped out of regular high school at 10th grade and went to beauty school. And it was Maranello in Hollywood. And, you know, I learned everything, the Maranello method. And I was kind of a nerd then because I had quit dyeing and bleaching my hair, you know, and it was 1968. And, you know, I was more natural, say. And, you know, a lot of the girls had big bouffant hairdos, and they were, you know, blue blonde. And, you know, I was not into that. I was, you know, clogs and granny glasses, you know, so I was just sort of a little bit nerdy. And I just absorbed it all. I just went crazy. I just wanted, they couldn't teach me enough. I couldn't hang out there long enough. And actually prior to that, I remember going with my mother to the salon once a week. She'd go to the salon, and I would just sit, you know, under the station kind of, and just hand Evelyn clippies. That was her hair. Clippies. I'd clean hair. I love the smell of permanence. I love the smell of hair color. I still do. It warms my heart. So, you know, I've been on this thing for 50 some years, and I still love it just as much. And when I went to beauty school, I got a very small beauty school. Didn't cost as much as it does nowadays, but I got a little small scholarship from Clairol, because my teachers had promoted me to, you know, get this Clairol Institute, I think it was called, and, you know, and I was just, I was in heaven. And, you know, I've just never looked back. I've always wanted to do that.
What a wonderful story.
Oh, fantastic. Did you do the color on the cat?
Oh, well, Not, oh, this one, no.
Yeah. I was going to say, I love it.
She'll take a shower, but I don't think she'd like the hair color.
No highlights for her. Okay.
Yeah, highlights, you know, she's
So
pretty cool.
she's gorgeous. So besides the cat, what is your most treasured possession?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. I don't know if I have a most treasured possession. My brain, maybe? You know, I mean, I'm glad that my brain's still working
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't know. I've never really thought about that. I know that I have a hard time uh, getting rid of hair things because I love playing with them still. Like turkey wings. Do you remember, or did you guys know what turkey wings are?
Not in England. We used to eat them, yeah, but
Yeah.
I never put them into hair.
Metal rollers that
Oh,
have
sure, yeah.
them, and then they have a little rubber thing that goes over.
Yes.
And you know, there's just some things that like when you're doing period work, that's the only thing that's going to give you the look, is what, you know, doing it that old way. You can't, you know, you like sometimes you need to crokinole hair and you can't just use a Marcel iron because it just won't get the same effect. It'll be too flat or whatever. And you know, just little nuances. Actually, I do have a favorite possession, and it is a great big hairdressing book that's about that thick, and you know, it's huge, very heavy. It's like over 20 pounds. And it was my Corson's books also I like, you know, and you probably know about Corson's in England. And Corson's book on period hair. That one, you know.
How do you spell Corson?
Corson. It's out of print, but you can get them, you can try and get them. And they have everything. And, you know, exciting part of my career was the research, because you really get into the history of how hairdressing started as they were barber surgeons. And one of the reasons why hairdressers in most states have to take medical classes isn't just for safety and security, or safety and sanitation. It's for, you know, initially we were pulling out people's teeth, we were suturing up their faces, we were taking out bullets. I mean, that was part of the job. And that all sort of went in there because you're so personal when you're touching someone's body, even if it's just their hair. And that's just such a personal service. And the beauty of it is that way you get to, you know, you get to communicate on a different level. And I think that's why people say, oh yeah, everybody tells their hairdressers everything. And I think it's because we've got this connection that's so different than if you were selling them something.
Yeah.
Or even doing their nails, you know, there's a whole different thing when you're touching the personal parts of their body.
For sure.
I totally agree. I think that right now is the most important part of what's going on right now. I see that as our salon is up and running and at high speed, you know, these people that are coming in truly want not a haircut. They're wanting their hair touched. They're wanting
love.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's like I've never seen anything like it right now. And of course we practice all safe procedures, but they're just wanting to be listen. I mean, they've been in the house. They want to be touched.
Yeah.
They want to be touched.
Right. They want that service. Yeah.
Yep. I want to bring something up. There was a huge I can't tell you how excited I was when you invited me to the Oscars and I got a golden ticket to go. and what I took away from it, Linda, was holy shit. First of all, it goes on for more than one night. Did you know that, Chris? I learned so much.
Oscar.
And
Oh, you mean beforehand?
yeah,
The
like
dress rehearsals and stuff?
well, no, you took me to a big theater where the hairdressers, I mean, I got to walk past masks from Star Trek, that makeup artist did. I got to see
Oh,
Benjamin Button, like when they did Benjamin Button and they
right.
made him look younger. I mean, I got to see all
That
that, but
was
I
in
remember,
makeup.
yeah, I mean, I remember thinking I was going to go into, what I normally would see on television. And instead, I remember telling you, I'm kind of taken back that they're not showing this part on TV. You know, where the audience was there and all the makeup artists and stylists were on stage and they were receiving awards for all their work in the movies. And it's like,
Yes.
why isn't the public seeing this? I mean, I think this is more
Mm.
valuable than seeing an actress get an award for what she did, because the reason she got that is because of you and what you did to her hair, her face. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a huge for me to realize that our industry gets rewarded, but more backstage at a,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like the day before. I mean, that was huge to me. I took away a lot. I told a lot of people that, I mean, there's a lot of talented stylists and artists that we don't get to see get up on stage and get recognized for that. So anyway, I just want to thank you for that.
Yeah,
That was a big
very
learning
true.
curve. Yep.
What
Yes,
a great opportunity, Joseph. You're spoiled.
I
So,
am
Linda,
spoiled.
which living person do you most admire and why?
Oh, well, um, the only person that really comes to mind, even though there's a lot of them, probably my seventh cousin, Barack Obama.
He's your
He's
seventh cousin?
on the Dunham side. And
Oh,
I love
Wow.
listening to him. And I really do. I really just love listening to him. And I don't know why, but that's the only person that comes to mind right now, that I think
That's a
of.
good one.
Yeah, when I think of who do I love, just totally love him, cousin or not. I just love listening to him. I love the way his brain works, and I love the safety of him. I mean, for me, I felt that way. But
yeah, I agree. And I love the whole family. I think Michelle
me
is
too.
wonderful. The kids are gorgeous.
Classy people, very classy,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
wonderful people. Again, there's another opportunity to be kind. You know,
Yep.
he's kind, and I think in hairdressing that's important. When we get clients, we've all seen the arrogant, bossy hairdressers, right? And that can be kind of off-putting, because just like you were talking about, Joseph, we're giving them a little love. We're giving these clients, whether the client's a movie star or a nurse or debutante or a factory worker, we're still sharing some type of love with them that is safe and wonderful for both of us. We enjoy
Yeah.
it and they enjoy it. I mean, we're so blessed to be in this industry in any form. It's wonderful.
And I highly respect the fact that you're under confidential contract many times when you're working with these high-end celebrities. But who was the kindest? Go ahead. You can say it.
Well, there's a lot of kind ones, actually.
Was there?
Yeah,
All right,
Albert.
well, then let me go the opposite. Who
No,
was the most
did that.
unkind?
No, the uncouth. No, I mean, there's ones that are unkind, but they don't work very much anymore anyway. So it'd be like, who? So
Yeah, yeah,
that's what happens to people. But, Jeff Bridges is really kind. He's
mm,
wonderful and kind. Um, I'm thinking women. Angela Lansbury, I worked with for years and
Oh,
years, and she's very kind. And I did get to work with Lauren Bacall once, and I almost fainted when that happened because I said to her, I said, "Oh my God, I've wanted to do your hair since I was 10 years old. Here I am, 35 or 40 years old, and I'm doing her hair." And I was just like, I waited for this for so long. But
you
it's just,
remember what it was for?
yes, it was some TV show, I think, or a movie about a monkey. I don't know what
Okay.
it was, but we were shooting it in the Museum of Natural History in LA. And her hairdresser that's done her hair for years had to go somewhere that day. So she left Lauren with me. I had her all to myself, and she was lovely. I was worried. I thought, oh my God, this could be a nightmare. But no, she was lovely. She was everything I wanted her to be, and it was a dream come true. So
Oh, I
little
love
things
that.
like that. And then that makes me think of the one time that I got starstruck, just once. I've worked with all kinds of people and flown around in their private planes and stuff. But the only person that I was ever starstruck where I just absolutely couldn't talk was Catherine Tate. You know Catherine Tate, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Catherine Tate. I was doing the last episode of The Office over here,
Mhm.
and or I guess it was before the last episode. Another time where I was babysitting her, because these hairdressers are kind of funny about, they don't want to leave their clients with anybody that would steal them.
Yeah. Oh
So
my
you
God.
really leave them with people you trust. And so I'm trustworthy. They leave them with me, and I go, yeah, go back and have fun with your hairdresser. So
Mhm.
Catherine Tate was there, and I couldn't speak. I just couldn't speak. I just got so like, I could not believe. And she said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I said, "I think I'm starstruck. I've never been starstruck, and I mean, I've met many of these people, and Catherine Tate was the only one."
Wow.
Well,
And
that's good. At least you know you're still human, Linda.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I always think that maybe I'm a Whovian so bad that it just really got to me.
Yeah. So who would you choose or who would you cast to be you in the movie of your life?
Hard question. Oh,
beautiful question.
boy, that's one I don't know.
Catherine Tate.
Catherine Tate, there you go. Yes, Catherine Tate, there you go. Exactly. That makes sense. Yeah,
Cool.
I love her. Either Catherine Tate or oh dear God, the other redhead that I worked with on The Office, and I can't remember her name now. Oh,
It'll come to
Kimmy,
you.
the one that's got a new TV show a couple years on Netflix, Kimmy something. Oh dear. She was in Bridesmaids. When I did Bridesmaids, she was in that too.
Oh
A
God.
little
You worked on Bridesmaids.
Mhm.
What was the coolest thing about working on Bridesmaids? Because that was funny. Were you in the diarrhea and
Because
throwing
it
up
was very
scene?
fun. The director was wonderful. What?
Were you in
What? Yeah, you're
the
there for all those scenes.
the
Yeah.
diarrhea and the throwing up
And
scene?
that was Melissa wrote that scene for everybody. And one of her best friends was one of the other people in it. And I'm totally at a loss for names, but that was very funny. That was a fun movie to work on. It was really horribly hot, and all these people were dressed in a lot of clothes for as hot as it was. And Westlake Village is where it was shot, and not so good, not so good that way, but funny, and the director, Paul, I can't remember his name right now. Oh dear. Uh, he is hilarious, and he made it. He made, between writing it and directing it and producing it, he made it just hilarious.
I want to ask you, what was your presence on Jurassic Park?
What?
Did you work on Jurassic Park? Was that part of something that you worked on?
No.
Or what brought you to Kauai to build the most fat, Chris? Yes, I'm spoiled. I got to stay a week in the most amazing bamboo home in, wasn't it Kauai?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
North Shore of Kauai.
owned by Linda Arnold. And I just was mesmerized, and I guess it was my own brain that thought maybe you had done something on Kauai, or what brought you there.
I was actually working on a movie with Hilary Duff, and then she had her 16th birthday there, or 15th or something. So we were going over there anyway, and it just sort of coincided with her birthday. And I had friends that had already been over there, and I'd been there before. And I was taking my friend who died, I was taking her ashes, and she said, put them on this part of the beach, or this part. And when she was alive, she used to live there. And then Nikki came by in 91 and tore it down, what her place looked like. But, she wanted her ashes there. And then the land was for sale, so I bought it.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you again, I say.
And when is it vacant, Linda? Because Andy and I are packed and ready to come.
I had to sell it, and I think it's on VRBO.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I don't own it anymore. That's a bummer, but it's good in other ways, bad in other ways.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah,
That was
a
very,
good
very nice.
house. But it is a vacation rental, so it's easy to find. It's called Tropical Bamboo Hideaway. I didn't name it. Some person with the real estate company named it that.
cool. What was your most embarrassing moment?
Oh boy, there's many.
Give us the worst one.
Okay, I wrote this down actually. Not it wasn't a question, but what I was writing about was when I started in hairdressing, and the world was so different for women. And so my first job out of school was working as a shampoo girl. And I worked for Jean Shakova a little bit, but I worked for somebody else that never really amounted to anything. But it was a very chauvinistic time, and I was required to wear hot pants and tight blouses and have the full hair and makeup thing on, and tall shoes, platform shoes. And that was the requirement for coming to work. That's the way it was.
Mm.
And you couldn't say anything about it. And luckily I was young enough, it didn't really make a difference to me. But I never realized how chauvinistic the whole thing was until later on. And I'm like, wow, that is so weird. And so I think the embarrassing thing was that. And I was embarrassed for somebody else, because back then the men that owned the salons were very, you had to look a certain way to work there. And they would put a scale in the dispensary, and this one girl, Phyllis, one of the male hairdressers that was the co-owner, thought she'd gained weight, made her get on the scale and laid her off work until she lost weight.
Come on.
And that's true. And so for me, it wasn't embarrassing to me, but it was embarrassing as a human being that people could be that bad.
Yeah,
So
I
that
worked
was,
at I worked in a barber shop in just off Baker Street in London, and it was a very exclusive barber shop. And my uniform was hot pants
right.
with then like an ankle length skirt split to the waist on top of it. But
Oh,
you had to have full makeup and
that's right.
do neck massages and
Oh,
oh god.
yes. Oh,
Mm.
yes.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah,
wow.
wasn't that the time? Wow.
Got big tips though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they want. Big tips.
Yeah, well, that's not what they want, but that's what we got. It's
Right.
okay.
I know. It's not funny.
Yeah.
Oh, God. No, I don't
Wow.
know. There's, so many. Do you remember when it was against the law? I don't know if it was so in England, but in California for sure, it was against the law in the 70s for a man to get a haircut in a salon.
Oh, I
What?
didn't know that.
We had to go to court in order to get the law changed because men could go to barbers, women went to beauty salons. And so what they required after that was to put up a sign in their signage saying unisex salon.
Mm-hmm.
And it had to be very specified, unisex. So those are some of the things that I think about were just, and then another thing that I thought about was, and this was in the 70s also, and this wasn't my salon, it was a salon I was working in, and the owner's name was Lee, but I don't remember the rest of it. And he was sweet, very nice man, but he had, learned to do African-American hair. And I never had an issue doing it. Just, I could use my tools, and particularly my comb and hot tools and things like that. And I had several clients, men and women both, that would come into this unisex salon, and I would do their hair. And a lot of women at the time didn't know they could wash and blow dry their hair. They thought they could wash it and press it, every couple of weeks. But, crokinole irons and products had changed a lot. They turned to no base relaxers. And so that would make the hair not as fragile as it would be otherwise with a base to it. And so I had a lot of clients that were African American. And, I've always thought that everybody that goes to beauty school should learn every aspect of hair, every scenario,
Yes, yes,
no matter what it
yes.
is. And it's
Totally.
always needed.
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be an occasion come up. And that also, I think it's important for people to be able to think on their feet. I mean, how many times have you guys been in a jam with somebody's hair for a second and you have to kind of just think this through
Mm-hmm.
and, adjust something, and then you finally come up with the answer. And I love that, it's so, I think that part is very exciting for us. We get to create.
So, where were you around the time that Sassoon came into the world and changed everything from weekly rollers to really beautiful haircuts? Like, did that touch your presence at all where you were at? Did you ever
Yeah,
get to meet him?
yes, I did. I did, because I used to work with Jean Shakov, and Jean Shakov was friends of him and the guy that was down south. Oh, I thought of his name earlier this morning. The guy that invented IT products a long time ago. Joe Oliveri. You guys remember Joe Oliveri?
No,
He
no.
was in the South Bay, like Huntington Beach or something like that. And he was a platform artist at the time, in the 70s and early 80s. He might have even been done by about the mid 80s. But that whole group was, literally the shampoo kind of guys, which was funny.
Mm-hmm.
The movie came out and it kind of tempered their, they were old by then, but it was just so funny to think that, it was just so chauvinistic.
Oh, for sure. Did you work on shampoo, Linda?
No, I wasn't doing hair and film at that time.
Okay. So
Yeah.
when did you start hair in film?
Well, I started out when I was in my teens. The first job, I had an uncle that was in music business, and he was a performer, and he had friends that, were performers. And so people were always around. And one day someone said, and I was really young, I was probably 13 or 14, do you want to earn $25 just combing somebody's hair? And I said, sure. And so they said she wants her hair brushed a lot. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. No problem. And it was Sonny and Cher. So it was for Cher.
Oh, wow.
And she was about 18 and she was 18 or 19. She wasn't very old. And I don't remember, I was really, really young. And my job initially was to listen to the records, like the Beatle records, and then write down the words and give them to the guys in the band so they know the words to the song. So then it sort of turned out to, well, if you could do that, could you sew on this button? And if you could do that, could you hem up these pants? Or, if you can do that, can you do our hair? And, and it just progressed like that through the years.
And we never said no, Linda. I think that's such a big difference between our generation and the generation today. And I know that there's good and bad in both. We learned a lot, we experienced a lot,
yes.
But they earn way more money than we did.
Yeah,
so
that's the truth. Yeah, yeah, in a shorter amount of time.
Exactly. So what was the worst job that you ever did?
The worst job that I ever did was working a really long day out in the heat and having a wrestler that was not an actor at 2:00 in the morning want me to, after working 16 hours, demanded that I cut his hair at 2 in the morning. And that was bad. That was a bad job. And I just, it was a buzz cut, but I just wasn't doing it. I barely talk much less. And, his expectations is that I was a robot and I could just do it. And
so you said yes to that one?
I didn't say yes to it. He was in my trailer, and as I was packing up, he said that the producer told him to cut my hair. And I said, well, nobody asked me. And he said, well, nobody's going to ask you. The producer told you. And, you can have jobs like that, or having a job, one job that this kind of B or C actor, whatever you want to call him, he, and that was a bad one. He had a bad night, I suppose. And usually you come in and you say, hello, good morning. That's just a decent thing to do. And I said, hello, good morning. And he says, cut the chit chat and do my fucking hair. And I said, you know what? I don't get paid enough money for this. So I'm out of here. Bye-bye. And I said,
good for you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
I quit.
Good.
Absolutely. Because I just, after all that abuse that we went through in the 60s and 70s, just to be women. I mean, do you remember when, there was such a deal in a lot of these salons where it was only male hairdressers? No offense, Joseph, but it was only a lot of male hairdressers, and the women always had to work twice as hard to get to the place where the men were. You had to somehow get in the old boys club. And that was brutal. And, you know, there's a point in my life where I just said, you know, there just isn't enough money for that. And
I
it
like
wasn't
that.
because I had the money. It's because I had self-esteem and I wasn't going to put myself through it. And about 13 years after that particular incident happened, and again, I don't remember this guy's name. I could look it up, but he was, you know, if I said it, you'd say, who? You know, it's like that. But he had a sitcom that, you know, probably did 5 episodes and then went down. And um, uh, oh, shoot, I just lost my thought. Hold on. It'll come back in a second. Oh, about 13 years afterwards, this a woman called me and she said, do you remember me? I was the makeup artist on that show. And remember when that guy came in and he was so ugly and abusive? She says, I want to be like that. I want to be able to just get up and say no and walk away from that. Because, you know, it's really important. It's more, to me, it's more important to be like that and know when something's bad and say, no, 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 no. You know, we don't put up with this stuff. You know, we don't have,
Right.
whether it's in a salon, oh dear, whether it's a salon in a chair, oh dear, I think I just lost my, okay, hold on. Whether it's in a salon, in a chair, someone in your chair, or someone in your life, or someone that you are stuck working for, there's just no point in putting up with any of that. You don't have to. One person isn't going to spoil it, but they could spoil me by making me feel less of myself.
Yeah.
How old were you, Linda, when you found that courage?
Oh, maybe 30, 31, something around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I would say that in the very beginning, I did go through many years where I was just, you know, I sort of felt terrorized. And what I did is that I also went through a lot of jobs on purpose. I would, you know, sometimes I think when people don't stay in salons and there's a large turnover, there might be a problem with the salon, you know, because, you know, there are places where there's problems. And I sort of moved through different things, but at least it moved in an upwardly direction, at least until it was time for me to co-own a salon, you know, manage a salon, then co-own a salon, and then completely own a salon. So, and that was just all part of the education as far as I'm concerned. And I really think you can go anywhere you want to go in this industry. But the main thing is that find out where you want to go in this industry, and then center yourself there and let other people know what your goals are. You know, like Joseph will say, my goal is this, this, and this, you know, and then because people can't read your mind, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they need to know like what direction you're going in. And if I know what direction I'm going in and I call you guys and say, this is the direction I'm going in, you guys will always say, oh yeah, I can help with this, or I can help with that. And I think that kind of communication is really important in this industry.
Great advice.
And so you owned a salon. How many employees did you have?
One time I had 12 employees, and then that was way too much. And it was, you know, pre-19. Well, I had been fired from one job. This was in Scottsdale, Arizona at this time. I was fired because I was pregnant, and that was considered ugly. And so,
Oh,
because they said, we're selling beauty here, and that is not beauty. And so I went into a business with a friend of mine, one of the guys from the salon where I had to wear the hot pants and stuff. But he was a nice guy, you know, and he was very kind to me and very nice. And we started this salon there, and it just wound up, it was in Scottsdale, which was weird. But then the next ones that I started, anyway, it got overwhelming with just too many people, too much of everything.
Yeah.
And I was too young to manage as much as I had bit off.
Was it commission?
No, I got a percentage of everything everybody made.
So what were the stylists, were they renting from you at the time? Like that's a big thing now, or were you a commission salon back then?
It was a commission salon.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you got bonuses for selling products
Sure.
like
Yep.
that. And not that many people, the IRS was kind of sticky about booth rental, and they
Yeah.
would discourage people from doing it.
And why, and I always want to ask this question because somehow it started. And when I'm asked by a student about where the transition came in from commission salons to someone going into rental, I swear it was someone that I had met, like, remember Orbe?
Yeah.
I think it was him that told me the reason that rentals started were because of individuals like himself that would travel, do movies and editorials in Paris. They needed a place where they could come back to, and the commission salons were having a challenge with them coming back.
Yeah. Same thing with
So
me. Yeah. When I worked in Malibu, one of the reasons I kept a place there was because I could come back and forth. I could go off and do a
sure.
movie, TV show, and still show up and not have any problem. But they had a lot of booths, a lot of
Right.
chairs to
I
rent
mean, it
out.
was very purposeful. As a salon owner that has a commission salon, I get that was really purposeful back then.
Yeah.
Like everything back then with the men and the way that they treated women, I think that in this day and age, as we get into 2021, the rental, and I'm just going to say it, has not it's not what it used to be. It's more now ego driven. So you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm for either or, but obviously students out of school can't afford to go into a rental.
No.
But the reason that they have to understand that rentals were there was because both you and Chris, being active in the world outside of a salon and the hair industry, you needed a place to go, and that
Yeah.
was affordable for you to take care of. So it's been, we talk about the now generation, and it's becoming less client, like as I'm interviewing all these icons, right? And we have an amazing icon coming on that is all about cutting, and that is really the foundation to our world.
Mm-hmm.
And like you say, know the basics. Quit thinking that your shit is hot.
Yeah.
And that you're just going to go off on your own because, and I got very involved with our government because they wanted to take away our license in this state. And both my business partner and I kind of, yes, and it was going on, and it was men in suits, and they didn't want to pay the money anymore for licensing. And it was crazy. What I never thought it'd be political because I'm not.
So have people, strangers, touching people with sharp objects and having absolutely no structure to it. Wrong.
Yep. And
Wrong.
my business partner was the one to say to them, you need to just examine where you could be making the money. Because, I mean, my daughter's a beautiful stylist and has an amazing rental chair salon and does really well, but she's legit.
Mm-hmm.
There are some that have tarnished it.
There's a lot that have tarnished it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel that it's sad because the talent that you two ladies have, there's a purpose for it. But to go about it to tarnish our industry in a bad way is like, what's your opinion on that? You know, I mean,
Yeah, I think that one of the beauty, you know, I remember Glenby.
Mhm. Yeah.
Remember Glenby? I never got to go. I visited one, but I never got to join them because I was already off on a trip, you know, when that was all going on. I was touring with a rock band or something crazy like that. But what I liked and when I owned my own salons, what I promoted and required was uh, and Frederick Fekkai Salon does this every Thursday. They have training, whether you're a booth renter or they have training for, everybody gets a chance at training somebody else. Like you would do your expertise, they would do their expertise. And I love that. I think that's
yeah,
wonderful
I love that too.
because it's important to know that when you get out of beauty school, you're just at the tip of the iceberg. There's a giant world out there that is so much bigger, and the more that you are willing to be willing and absorbent and just suck it all in like a sponge, the bigger your career will be. The
Yeah.
more that people get shut down and think that they got all that, they've signed a death sentence to me, because, you know, for their career at least. I was thinking, I wrote this down today because I always think about these, you know, hairstylists that are just starting, to always be proud of what they do. Always be proud. This is not waitressing. We're not telephone operators. We are people that are blessed and granted permission to do permanent things to people's appearance. You know, this is a very personal service. And
I like
thinking on
that.
your feet, thinking on your feet is really important. And that's something that I never thought about until somebody pointed out to me, and part of my learning experience was be able to think on your feet. And you're going to run into problems that you can't see ahead of time that it's coming. It could be anything. It could be anything. Somebody,
Yeah.
their hair could turn orange, or when you didn't want it orange, or, you know, or you could go whoops with something, and, you know, you've got to like hold it together. And I mean, I know all of us have done this at least once, where we've had, you know, whether it's a clipper or or something, it's always been a whoops, right? And we go, shit, we can't put it back. But we have to be able to not show that we're panicking and freaking out. You have to hold your mud, right?
Yeah.
So that's so important. And young hairdressers, new hairdressers need to learn that. And in my industry, in the entertainment industry, it's far more competitive than any salon. I mean, people will, you know, kill their mother to get a job. It's brutal. It's really brutal. But there's room for kindness too. And I found that no matter who it was, if it was an Oscar winner or somebody that's just starting out, but they happen to have the real hot job because they're the person of the moment, you know, because it's a lot like 31 flavors. What's the flavor of the month, right? and they, so for me, when I go and work, like when I worked on Ratchet, you know, these people, my career's longer than these people are old.
Yeah.
But I don't go in there and going, oh, my career's longer than you were old. I go in and I say, what do you need help with? What can I do for you? And that has to be my attitude that I take with anybody that I work with, and drop the damn ego. Because the ego in the long run only makes you look foolish.
Yep.
It's just ridiculous. Kindness and trying to be helpful to the other people, I think, is the
Oh my God. You know what,
Totally.
Chris?
Linda, you have nailed it. Totally nailed what it takes to be a hairdresser. Whichever direction you want to go in, or whatever level you want to go to, you've absolutely nailed it. And it's actually Very, very simple. Be nice.
Be nice. Yes. Be nice, be kind, be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that will always work. You know, someone will always keep you. And I think that all of us do want to uplift other people. And, you know, we've all had people work for us, and the ones that are off on their own trip and they're like going to do everything their way or whatever, or arrogant, you know, you go, well, I don't know if I want to call them. I don't know if I want to be. But the one person that can be completely humble and just say, what can I do to help you? Those are the people we will always call back. And when there's something we can't do, they'll be the first ones I'll give a job to,
Yeah.
because they're humble. You know, they have humility, and little
Mhm.
bit of humility goes a long way.
Oh.
Where a little bit of arrogance gets you down real fast.
Mhm.
Wow,
Very
I
cool.
I think that this has been truly one of the top iConixxx interviews we've had.
Mm.
I
Oh,
have 2 pages of notes. I
Mhm.
know for a fact, you know, Linda, I'm all about pushing this down the newbies. Not I mean, in a kind way.
yeah.
When I stand in front of my individuals that I beautifully love, this is going to be the one I am going to tell them you need to watch,
Yeah.
because what they're going to get from you is where you've started, where you've peaked, and what you had to
Translate,
share
baby.
with them. I'm not kidding. I mean, I really feel that you have really nailed everything that they all want to hear. And um, I'm not saying it's better than, but I know for myself, this is better than. And a lot of schools are going to get an email saying they better check this one out. And they need to
Mhm.
play this documentary right first day.
Mhm.
I am calling the educator, I'm calling the president of education, and I'm just going to say, Chris Sorby and I just interviewed Linda Arnold, and please do me a
Mhm.
favor. Don't ask me what it was. Just sit in class with the students and listen to what she has to say,
Mhm.
because it's really a gift. And you know, you are going to change more lives just by what you just said, because it's true. I mean, it's true. Everything that you've said is so true, and I'm so thankful. And I know Chris probably feels the same way that I do. I would like to ask you if you'd ever be willing to come back and talk with us again,
Oh, yeah.
and possibly let us know who you may want to interview, and
Oh,
we'll
good idea.
see if we
Okay.
can dig, you know, because I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I
Yeah,
think that it would be really great for you
I can
to
think of,
interview another industry icon, someone
yeah.
that you know in the world of where you're at, that you
Mhm.
feel would be really valuable for stylists and youth to really listen
Mhm.
to. I
Yeah.
encourage you to go find that individual and let us know. We'd have you back on. We
Mhm.
have we've started an idea that Chris and I had, and it's called what, Chris?
Chain reaction.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So Joseph and I introduce you guys, then we step aside and you then interview your icon of choice.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
know, Linda, not every icon is someone that is well known. And
Right.
that's why we're reaching out to you, for example, who within the film and the TV industry could say, oh my goodness, yeah, there's this one person who, hairdresser, makeup artist, within our realm of our industry, that would be such an inspiration and encouraging to others, because you know so many people want to go into your world but they don't even know where to begin.
And they
Hmm.
need more. They're going to be having more and more media. It's going to get bigger and bigger, because the days of going to movies is over. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we're going to be having media. We need to produce more media. Right now, we can't. But there's people that I can think of that are absolutely amazing. Um, Polly, you know, Polly became the new business agent at the Union. She started out in theater in Chicago, she's amazing. And Kim Ferry, there's another one that there's nothing that girl can't do. There's nothing.
Well,
She can do
well,
everything.
I
And
would say that in closing, and I don't want to end this because this is beautiful. Honestly, I could talk for like hours. And but I think in closing, Linda, I mean it. I almost feel like you could partner with us in this whole crime and bring forth really educated, smart individuals that can really leave a trail of knowledge to how to get from A to B. Because you're right, movies will be gone, but there's still going to be media. There's
Yeah.
still gonna need hairdressing done,
that's
and they're
right.
still gonna need makeup artists.
Right.
And you know, I want to say that I'm not. I don't know. I'm gonna just say this, but you not that you need to reinvent yourself, but you could reinvent yourself through this whole world of iConixxx because
I'm good with
of
that.
what
Yeah.
you're gonna attract. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you could sell books,
Yeah.
videos.
I would like to be a cheerleader for the industry because, and not motion picture industry so much, but the hairdressing industry, because I really think that new people in that industry need to understand that, okay, here I am, 10th grade education, but I've made more money than a plastic surgeon and had fun along the way. And so have you, and so have you, and
Yeah,
so have
yeah,
you, and so have you, you know,
yeah,
we all do because it's a passion. Hair is
yeah.
very passionate and
Oh,
very emotional.
that's
Well,
what gets us through those tough days. If we didn't have our passion, we
That's
would
right.
collapse.
Yes, and I know all of us have had dreams about doing hair because we all do. Those of us that love
yes.
it so much, we dream that we're at work, and it's not like, oh my God, we're at work. It's like, oh, we're at work. Oh, you know,
Yep.
it's a whole different.
I'm just gonna say that when there's a hair in my soup, I eat it.
I curl it.
So,
She
with this
she
being
curls
said, because I don't want to go too much longer, because
it.
Andy will have the hatchet out. Linda, would you be okay if Chris and I bothered you on a regular basis to be involved with us?
Fine with
Chris,
me.
would you be okay with that?
Oh my God, I love Linda. I love Linda. I love her humility. I love the people that she's touched that the public would dream of.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's people like Linda are so rare in our industry. You were talking about no ego. You know, it's just absolutely amazing. We love you. Yeah, we need more of you, Linda,
Yep.
for sure.
Back.
I love you
I,
too.
so exciting. I think this is so totally exciting. You know, it's funny. I bought this .com a few years ago called Hair and Makeup for Film, and I never did anything with it. And I just, maybe it's time to do something like that or with it.
Hey,
Do it. I don't know. I don't know what the thing was, but there it was.
Well, you know
Anyway.
what? So know this. I send you a huge hug, and I will stay in touch with you and bother you as much as I always have. And thank you for accepting my text messages when I'm texting.
Sure, and give Chris my number too, and Julia.
I'll
thank
share it.
you.
You guys
And
call me anytime. Oh, and I did want to show you because Chris didn't get to see it. So this is something that I worked for many years, and they don't do it anymore.
Turn it the other way up. It's upside down, my darling. That's okay.
There you go.
That's amazing.
This is
and
my
it's
gold
real.
card. It's
And
gold. Yeah.
it's
like,
gold.
Solid gold.
yeah. And it's a gold
Wow.
card, and it's after 25 years of faithful service or whatever, but it was so exciting. They don't give them out anymore. They don't make them anymore. And then the other one was this is my Oscar card.
Brilliant.
Because the thing I took you to was at the Oscar Academy, but it was, or it was for my peers.
Yeah.
And this one, they made them out of metal now. I don't know why, but this is my little, you know, you get your little membership card.
Yep.
and then they send you a bunch of movies. And then I judge the student films, which I love judging student.
Oh, cool.
It's
Yeah.
so fun because it isn't just hair, it's also their
I
design.
think we're bringing you in.
Yeah.
I think
Bring me
My
in.
husband does that as well.
Yep. I
Linda,
think
my
that
husband-
I want to. I know your husband is
My
so cute.
husband, yeah, he's so cute. Also, he's a filmmaker, Linda, so he judges movies as well, and it's so interesting to see the young kids into the film festivals, and yeah, it's brilliant.
Amazing things they can do on an iPhone. And we lost our film festival in Carmel. We used to have the Carmel Film Festival, and then they just decided they're not doing it anymore. But you know, we could go to San Francisco. But you know, they send me everything, and now it's all going to be just streamed. No more disc, I don't think, which I'm glad. Too many discs.
Well, here's to our future film. Here's to our future film. Here's to our future red carpet. And wherever that may be, I want you to know, Linda, that we have someone that is sending a message to us. And it's, of course, Andy, the husband of. And he says, so good session. So good. I love it. Thank you, Linda. And that comes from Mr. Filmman. So with that being said, I'm going to end this now so we can get this. Linda, I'll stay in touch. I'll put us all in a group text, okay, so that we can talk more.
Okay.
And for that, this was, you nailed it. Yep, you nailed it.
Fantastic.
I love you both so much.
Well,
and thank you guys so much.